Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in this Friday afternoon for Fridays at the Fifth Long Distance. My name is Aviana Rodriguez Brown, and I'm just here to say what's up. But before we really jump into today's workshop with our special guest, let's start today by taking a moment to remember that the Fifth Avenue Theater and the communities that we serve are on the lands and waterways of the Coast Salish people, who have continuously inhabited our region since time immemorial. They are the original storytellers and theater makers of this place that we are gracious enough to call home. We also acknowledge and honor that the tribal nations across Washington state and the many indigenous people from across the country who also live and work in the Seattle area. As we step into this new period of the Fifth's history, we hope to honor their legacies and bring together attention to their continued fight for equity and recognition. Thank you. So to start us off, I'm going to introduce myself. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time today, thank you so much for being here. Again, my name is Aviana Rodriguez Brown. I use she, they pronouns, and I occasionally refer to myself in the we. Today, I am wearing what looks brown on computer, but a burgundy blazer. I have an onyx circular necklace around my neck, and a green jumper shirt underneath. I'm wearing big black headphones that are blending into my afro curly black hair. I am brown skinned, and my fingernails are yellow. Behind me, you see a shelf of binders, some Clorox wipes, because we can't go anywhere without those, and sticky notes, which we'll get back into later today. Today marks a very special day for us. We are experiencing our 23rd episode of Fridays at the Fifth Long Distance. If you're with me, drop some twos in the chat so I can see you. And we have Jeremy, the tech guy, who will let me know if there are folks on Facebook or on our streams who are tuning in and dropping twos in the chat. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for that. But folks who are here in Zoom land with us, if you're with me on Friday afternoon, drop some twos in the chat so I can see you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Today, I actually want to share that I am starting a new job title as a community engagement specialist, which means I'm stepping away from this lovely world of Fridays at the Fifth. But I have the honor of introducing the person who will take over the mantle, who's the wonderful Amberly Jors. Amberly, please introduce yourself for folks.
Hi, everybody in Zoom and in Facebook land. My name is Amberly Jors. My pronouns are she, her. I am the new education curriculum specialist at the Fifth Avenue Theater and super excited to be here. I am a white woman in my 30s with a kind of medium brown hair, wearing a polka dot blue shirt today with plants behind me because I love plants very much. All right, Aviana, what's next?
Fabulous. Thank you so much. And Amberly, there's something special about the next Fridays at the Fifth that you're going to be hosting. Isn't that right?
Oh my gosh, yes. So this is actually one of our last, for now, digital long distance Fridays at the Fifth. So moving forward, our Fridays at the Fifth are going to be back in person, woo, which is very exciting. So we have 3 Fridays at the Fifth in person for this season. They are May 27th for And So That Happened, which is a new works show that's going to be super cool. And Friday, June 10th, which is for the prom, the national tour of the prom, which was also recently made into a film on Netflix. So check it out. Come join us. And then the final Fridays at the Fifth for this season is the national tour of Come From Away. And that is going to be on July 29th. So all of those will be in person, and you'll have an opportunity to take a workshop with some artists and then experience the show afterwards. Really looking forward to that. And I'm going to drop in the chat the link to register and sign up if you would like to come.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Amberly. Thanks for breaking that down. And for those folks who have been here before, you know the drill. And for those who are here brand new for the first time, thank you so much for being here. If you have thoughts or curiosities about the profession and you want to talk to a professional who's an expert like we're doing today, drop your suggestions in the chat live with us now, or email Amber Lee at ajors, J-O-R, excuse me, sorry, I'm spelling your name incorrectly, JOERS at fifthavenue.org. And we will get that expert in the room with you. Before we bring out our special guest into the room, we're going to go around and just ask if you feel comfortable to tell us who you are. Feel free to drop it in the chat, or you can come on video and say your names, introduce yourself to us, and tell us a little bit about your experience in musical theater. Maybe you've never done it before. Lots of people have that experience. I'm going to give us 2 seconds. You can also drop your information in the chat so we know a little bit about who you are. And that way, Kataka, our special guest for today, can work specifically with your needs. And Jeremy, let me know if anyone on the other streams has dropped anything as well. All right, as many of you may know, the Fridays at the Fifth program is dedicated to bringing students together who want to learn more about the craft of musical theater. Whether you're just curious or deeply passionate about musicals, we want to empower the next generation by giving y'all a chance to interact with theater professionals who have dedicated their lives to this work. So that's what we're about to do, even though we can't be in the same room just yet. Today's special guest is Kataka Corn. And hi.
Hello. Hello, everybody. My name is Kataka Corn. I use they, them pronouns. To describe what you see right here, I have it looks kind of yellow right now. It's got a little gold in there. It's a little sparkly. You can see a black lanyard around my neck that holds my company member badge. I have black curly hair, very dark eyebrows, and I have light brown skin, and I have beautiful posters behind me from very few shows from the many that the Fifth has done in the past. You can see probably a couple that you know, like Les Mis, and we have Legally Blonde right there. Yeah, and I am at the Fifth right now. So, yeah, hello. I'm here.
And Kataka, you just came from what? What were you doing this afternoon?
Oh my gosh, Aviana, I just came from rehearsal for Afterwords, the new musical, which is premiering at the Fifth. We have our very first preview tonight at 7:30. Yes, we
That is
do.
so exciting. The building is abuzz.
Hmm.
And for those of you students who are coming either tonight or tomorrow, we're so eager to see you in the crowd and to hear your reactions. So please definitely hit us up on the socials, whether that be Facebook, Instagram, after you see the show, and let us know your thoughts. But we're going to jump right in to today's workshop with Kataka. And Kataka, at this point, I'm going to hand it over to you, and we'll be here. Let me know what you need. And I know Jeremy has your sheet music for you.
Beautiful. All right. Yeah. So today will be kind of a little bit of everything. What it's like kind of being in the industry, but a lot about auditioning and what it means to audition and how to prepare for an audition. Um, yeah, so the first steps, I guess. How to get started. Finding music and oh, this will be music based, by the way, not necessarily monologues, but some of this information will pertain to finding a monologue, which is the spoken piece, right? Yeah, so when it comes to finding um, music for an audition, you want to make sure that that music is wow, so many thoughts. Okay. You want to make sure that that music is appropriate for you as well as true to you. So when I say appropriate, I mean if you are a young person coming into the audition room, talking about you're married to a person, that's probably not appropriate for you. It's not an explicit thing, but it's just not appropriate because it's something that you haven't experienced for you, right? So that goes hand in hand with what is true for you. So if you've not experienced that thing and you can't authentically tell that story, maybe that's not the best thing to audition with, right? And same goes with a monologue. If you are having trouble with finding a monologue like this one, I have trouble finding a monologue. I never have a monologue on hand, which is so bad. Don't copy that. But if it comes down to it, um, what is helpful for me, because I think of myself as a storyteller, right? Rather than an actor, I think of myself as a storyteller. Um, what I will do for like a last minute, we'll take that out. What I will do for my spoken piece for an audition is I'll take a song that I know really well that I'm very comfortable with, and I'll speak it like a monologue, right? Something, um, yeah, just something that I'm super comfortable with. So, for example, what I would have done this year was it was Meadowlark from Baker's Wife. Um, and it would have gone something like, when I was a girl, I had a favorite story of a meadowlark who lived where the rivers wind, and her voice could match the angels in their glory. And she was blind. The lark was blind, right? It would have gone something like that. And all of that, it's in a song, right? It's sung originally. But because that is the only thing I can remember, I'll just speak it for you, right? So tagging on to that, we'll put a pin in that moment, right? Tagging off of that, auditions should be something that you are comfortable and confident in, right? And that's what the team, the director, the music director, all the people, all the folks who are in the room watching you, they want you to succeed. They want to watch you succeed. So you should always go in with material that you feel confident in. So if that means that you are speaking a song you're really comfortable with, so be it. And I say that from the perspective of being an actor and a music director, right? I've been on the other side of the table. I know what it feels like to be really stressed, not having all of the material and turning down auditions because I didn't feel confident, and I didn't have all the resources, and I didn't have all of the things prepared that I should have prepared because I didn't have the time and I didn't have the resources. But now I know, kind of in this new age of, I should feel confident and comfortable with myself as a performer and an artist, that, you know what, I can go in with what I have and it'll be okay. They want me to succeed. Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any questions so far? Is there any? Anything available?
Yeah, a question here from the chat. What is the element that makes it inappropriate? What if I really love the song? Can't I just
Hmm.
sing it?
Right. Yeah, that's a really good question. So, let's say that there is let's say you are going in for a particular show. Okay, you are auditioning for Adam's Family, and you bring in audition material, or you bring in a song that is has a lot of swear words and talks about inappropriate things that I will not mention here because I don't know everyone's age, right? But things that you wouldn't want your grandma to hear, right? If it's things that you wouldn't want your grandparent to hear you say, it's probably inappropriate. And if it doesn't make sense for the show you're auditioning for, you might want to reconsider um, uh, what you're bringing in, right? So yeah, like I was saying, if it's Adam's Family and you brought in something from Next to Normal, that might not be the right thing because um, there's a few more explicit mentions in Next to Normal. So even though Adam's Family is a little more morbid, it's that dark comedy, but it doesn't have super explicit mentions in there, if that makes sense. Yeah. If you don't know, that's a really good question. If you don't know any musical theater songs, can you sing a song that you know? Do you want to know what I say? I say go for it. If it is something that you are comfortable and confident in and you don't have other resources, if you don't know, if you're not um if you are just not familiar with other music, that's okay. You know, if go in with what you know and take the time to get familiar with other music and other resources later. That's fine. Um yeah, I was literally just working with someone last night who's starting to get more used to musical theater, and they were like, I don't really know a lot, but also my style of music is just this thing. It was the song from Tarzan. The Oh, do you know what song I'm talking about? It's from Tarzan.
Mm, the one that Turk sings?
No,
Dun, 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 dun. No.
it's the heart one. My heart. Oh
Oh
gosh, I'll
man,
get back
no
to you. But
calling.
anyways, that is, I guess you would call that a movie musical, right? But it's not something that you see on stage very often, or it hadn't been on stage for a really long time, right? Yes, You'll Be in My Heart. That's the one. Yes, thank you. Yeah, You'll Be in My Heart. That's the one. Yeah. I was like, you know what? Go for it. If that's what you are most comfortable with right now, go for it. Um, yeah, yeah, go for it. Um, yeah, I'm gonna pause on that thought for a moment. Is it inappropriate to sing a song sung by someone of a different gender? That's a really good question. I'm gonna read that again. Is it inappropriate to sing a song sung by someone of a different gender? You know, I think there is a fine line here because at one point there was, oh, let's gender bend things, right? There was
For the folks who are new in the room to musical
yeah,
theater, can you explain gender bending?
yes, exactly. So gender bending was or is, sorry, is you might cast a role that was traditionally cast for a male identifying person that would now be cast for a female identifying person, right? So it would be a gender bent role. So maybe Seymour and Little Shop might might now be played by a female identifying person. I've never seen that done before, but that's just an example, right? Yeah, I would say if the music that Seymour sings is true to you, that's fine, right? Because when you are singing for an audition, it is out of context of the song, out of context of the show. So you're not singing as Seymour, right? So that means that you really have to dive into the story and the message of what you are telling, right? So you really just have to break down what that text and that material is if you're going to be doing that. Yeah.
That sounds like a perfect a perfect segue into your portion about technique and
Yeah.
really breaking down the song into different portions of context and subtext and how you portray that for an audition.
Yes. So I brought in, for example, a piece from Porgy and Bess called Summertime, which was also, you may also hear Ella Fitzgerald sing. Super beautiful song. So you have the jazz style from Ella, and then you have the classical style. Yeah. What I am going to demonstrate is a mixture of both, because that's kind of what an audition is. You want to share everything that you have. Yeah, I'm just going to demonstrate. I will demonstrate and then I will explain more later. All right. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, and you'll spread your wings, and you'll take to the sky. But till that morning, ain't nothing can harm you. With Daddy and Mommy standing Yes. Great. Yeah. That was Summertime. Um, I kind of gave you two in one. Basically, I started off with jazz and ended with classical. Um, I will tell you my reasoning for doing that. One, that was to show you that you can use all of the colors in your voice, and that's okay. You can do that. You don't have to stick with one style. Not that you would do that with every song. You wouldn't. But but you don't have to stick with one style. Now the reason I chose this particular song to do that with was because I chose to get bigger at the end, which is why I changed styles. So I started off with like this softer, more sultry jazz to be more talkative and communicative. One of these mornings, you're gonna rise up singing, right? And then I wanted to be more persuasive when I got bigger at the end. Um, yeah, so that's why I chose to get bigger. Yes. um, and then again, I've also had the training, that classical training. I started training classically when I was 13. That was the first training I received. I didn't start singing until I was 13, actually. So, it's never too late. I will tell you that. It is never too late. Um, yeah. What else do I say from that?
Question for you
Yes,
here.
please.
How did you choose those specific adjectives behind that portion of the piece?
Can you explain adjectives? Sorry, I don't know that word.
You used adjectives like persuasive,
Mm, mm-hmm,
communicative. How
mm,
did you get to those? Did you trial and error some, or what was your process?
mm. Thank you for that. Yeah. So I was thinking of when I was breaking down the lyrics of one of these mornings you're going to rise up singing, right? So I was thinking about it. And I thought, who am I speaking to, right? Now, out of context of the full song and out of context of the show, I'm talking to someone who needs to hear this. One of these mornings, you're going to rise up singing and you're going to spread your wings and you're going to learn to fly, right? So that was communicative to me. That was support, that was comfort to me. So that's how I came up with that. And then just music wise with the musicality, it just gets bigger. So I felt that. That's just a musicality thing that you get used to. Um, and then it's but till that morning, there's nothing can harm you. That's like a take it from me, you can do anything kind of moment. Yeah, but really just like taking a look into the lyrics that you're singing will help. And I would even say practicing your song as a monologue first, as a spoken piece first, breaking it down sentence by sentence will help you with the musicality of it. Mhm. Yeah, what are some of the things you do for your vocal health to be able to sing so confidently? Yeah, that's a great question. Vocal health. Oh my goodness. Lots of water for one. Um, yeah. So vocal health. I sing a lot, so my voice is warm more often than not. And what I mean by warm is um, sometimes you'll do a warm up before a show, or you'll warm up before you practice your piece. Because I sing so often, my voice is already in that warm place, so I'm able to just like pull it out. But what I will say is that I don't overwork my voice. So when I'm warming up, I'm not taking a whole lot of time doing a warm up. So I'm not warming up for 30 minutes because I find that when I do a super long warm up, then I have nothing to perform with because then I've just overworked myself with just doing a warm up. So I will do more like a 5 minute warm up. I will mark a song, so not sing full out, uh, and go through my song, and that will act as a warm up part two, and then I sing full out, and then I'm gradually going into my piece that way. Um, yes. Then there's also stamina. So musical theater oftentimes is dancing and singing and acting and emoting and breathing and all those things at once. So it's building stamina. It is a muscle that you have to build, right? So it doesn't come easy. It doesn't. So it's something that you have to work at. Um it will never be easy. It will never be easy. So that's something that I want you to keep in mind, that when you see people on stage and you don't notice them huffing and puffing, right? And that you don't notice them breathing super hard, it's because we have learned to build that stamina because we've exercised that muscle, right? Yeah. Cool, cool, cool. Why should someone get a vocal coach? Where does someone find a person to teach? Yeah. Yeah, so like the pros of getting a vocal coach is to help you sing healthily, right? There are ways that you can sing healthily and ways that you can sing unhealthily. Um, yeah, singing requires a lot of support, and that support will come from engaging your abdominal muscles and literally all the muscles, like from here down, right? From your core. It's all from your core. You shouldn't feel tension up here. Um, so yeah, having a vocal coach um, might help you clock those things, right? If they see, oh, I hear or see a lot of tension in your throat or in your shoulders. Um, and then they might also help you locate resources for audition material and um, help you warm up your voice and cool down your voice and all those things. After a show, it's always good to cool down your voice, which is like a reverse warm up. Yeah, so just coming out of that, which is so you wouldn't want to push your voice basically as a reverse warm up. Yeah. Where to locate that? Yeah. That's a really good question. There are teachers at like you can find um oh gosh, like uh sometimes you'll find resources through other teachers, like your music teacher at school might know other people. Um uh, local community theaters will also know if they don't provide that private coaching, they might know people who do provide that coaching. Um, yeah, those are some places. But yeah, there are people with like websites and things like that.
There is another question that was sent directly to me. How
Yeah,
do you vocally support or resonate while singing? And the
yeah.
second part, and how do you know if you are vocally supporting?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Loaded question. um, Yeah, so how do you know that you are vocally supporting yourself? Um, how I know I'm not vocally supporting myself is that my throat gets hot. Yeah, I feel like a heat in my throat and it feels very tense. Like it feels like it's constricted. Is that the right word? It feels very tight in my throat. So I know that I'm not supported. I know that I'm supported when I'm breathing from my diaphragm, which is the muscle like in your tum tum, and it goes like this. It expands this way. So basically, when you take an inhale, it'll compress this way, and then when you exhale, it'll open back up. So that's breathing from your diaphragm, right? I just did this to adjust my mask. That's funny. Some exercises that I do to to basically exercise that support is doing wall sits, and you'll feel that engagement basically in the lower half of your body. And I make sure that I'm not tensing up the upper half of my body, right? I should not feel any of that tension there. Another thing that I do is I take a chair. It doesn't have to be super heavy, but I make sure that I'm lifting that chair with my arms straight out. There's no way that you can sing and lift that chair without engaging your core. Yeah. And then when you take away the action of doing that exercise, you have to understand what it feels like to engage and support yourself without doing the exercise, right? And like I said, it is building that muscle. Yeah. So you'll kind of grow to understand what your body needs to do to support yourself. Yeah. But it is a lot of breathing from the diaphragm, not breathing from your chest or breathing from your shoulders, because that does nothing, right? It doesn't do anything. You should breathe from your diaphragm and think about expanding from your midsection. Did I answer that question fully? Sorry.
I'm going to pose that back to the student. If that question needs more clarity, please let us know so that way we can continue to clarify. How often would you, when you first were starting out, and how often were you doing exercises like that to build up stamina?
Every day. I at least I recommend singing every day. If you're not already singing every day to build that muscle, please sing every day if that is something that you want to do. Because if you're taking a class once a week and you're expecting that muscle to strengthen, it's not going to work. It won't. So you need to make sure that you're singing every day. A 5 to 10 minute warm up, 20 minutes of like singing, 20 to 30 minutes of singing, at least a few times full out. And doing that every day will build it. It will feel uncomfortable. It will. Yeah. Trying new things will feel uncomfortable, and that is okay. It doesn't mean that it's bad, and it doesn't mean that it's damaging your voice. And I know that's where it would be good to have a vocal coach, because if you've been singing for 10 years and then you start to feel vocal fatigue, then you know that your support is landing in the wrong place. Yeah. There was another question. Auditions can be so nerve-wracking. How can we transform the experience to feel exciting and empowering? Yeah, well, for one, I basically just like to go in as myself. I Yeah, it really is nerve-wracking. It really is. It is. And there's not a lot that can change that other than making sure that you're comfortable and confident, and knowing that the team that you're going in to see wants you to be successful. So making sure that you are doing everything in your power to set yourself up for success, and making sure that you have all the material that you need will definitely help you with that. Making sure that you are dressing yourself up as that, however makes you feel comfortable and confident. Like what I'm wearing now is something that I would wear into an audition room, because I feel comfortable, I feel confident, and this is my brand, this is my style, like this is how I would advertise me as a person and as an artist, right? So this is exactly, I'm giving exactly what they would get, basically. I know that people who go to sometimes people who go to school for musical theater are told, okay, you need to do this, you need to dress this way, this is the material that you need, and this is exactly what you need to say. Bada bing, bada boom, there you go. At that point, you're taking the creativity out of the artist, and you're making robots, right? And that's not cool. So what I have found and what has been successful for me is just doing me. Yeah. Um, yeah, that's what I have for that.
I will actually open we have been asking a lot of questions about auditions, which is fantastic. That is indeed why we are here, about and about singing. I do want to open the floor because we are coming towards the end of our time together, in case there are any questions regarding other elements of musical theater.
Mhm.
Kat is currently one of the understudies for our show that is opening this week. And so if you have questions about what it's like to be in a main stage show, what it's like to do a musical, what it's like to perform for a 2,000 seat house, any of these questions, or even the process that Kat has gone through to get to where they are today, please feel free to open your questions up to a broader sense, knowing that we are limited on a little bit of time. But what's it like? Question from the chat here. What's it like to be an understudy?
To be an understudy. Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely been a learning curve for me because this is my first time being an understudy. Um, and it's hard. It's difficult, especially because I am understudying 2 tracks. So that means that I have to know two separate tracks. Um, yeah. So two characters that are in the show, I have to know those characters. So in case of emergency, I might have to go on for one of those characters. And it's stressful because I don't get I get very minimal rehearsal time for that. Um, yeah, so very stressful. Um, Props to those who do that. It's a skill that doesn't come easily, and I don't know if it will. I don't know if it's necessarily an acquired skill. Like, I don't know if it gets better, like if it gets easier. It's just difficult because I have to know 2 shows basically um, at that point. So it's just hard.
So to clarify what you're saying, you have to know for 2 different characters,
Hmm.
their blocking,
Hmm.
their lines, their
Hmm.
musicality,
Hmm.
you have to know their lyrics.
Yep.
You have to
Yeah.
know their costume changes, any
Hmm.
quick changes, which
Hmm.
costume they go into for which scene,
Hmm.
if they have hair, makeup changes.
Hmm.
Oh, if y'all
Yes.
are as shocked as I am, go ahead and put a 2 in the chat. That sounds like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
It is.
we have some 2s in the chat for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a lot. So what do you do what do you, are you in rehearsal? Are you in the show? And then when you go home, you're in the show. And then when you sleep, you're in the show. Like, when is cat time?
Hmm. Yeah, and that's also something that I'm still finding is when I have time for me, because also with the content of the show, it is healthy to separate from that. So as much as I want to be confident in my lines and to know everything and to just be in it 24/7, so in case of emergency, in case I have to go on, I need to know it. I also need to make sure that I'm taking time for myself to mentally be okay, because the content of it can be heavy and it can take a toll on you. And just with the time that rehearsal takes, it can take a toll on the body and on the mind and all of that. So staying healthy in every way is super important. So as much as I want to be as confident as possible, I do step away when I get home. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I am gonna just say I'm gonna start wrapping up, but if there are questions, please drop them in the chat. If we don't have enough time to get to them today, I'll send them to Kat, and then Kat can send us back answers, and we'll share them in post on our website.
Yes.
Well, Amberly will share them in post on our website. All right. Well, uh, thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. And thank you so much, students who have taken the time to tune in, check in, ask fantastic questions, probe, and hopefully try out some of those exercises. You know, they're good ones. I'm interested to see people trying out the chair. If you try out the chair and you make a video, a reel, or a TikTok, go ahead and tag us in it so we can see what that's like. And thank you so much, Kataka. Please drop some fire emojis, some smiley faces, some ones in the chat, just to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the knowledge and for that awesome singing. Just bow down. Skills on skills on skills.
Uh, Thank you so, so much. And shout out to my mentors who have taught me so much, specifically Aaron Norman, who has been such a wonderful influence in my life. They have taught me everything that I know, who I also found at more of a community kid stage theater. It's Village Theater Kid Stage. So thank you, Aaron Norman. So thank you all so, so much for having me.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for being here. That is it for us today. Aviona, do we have any final announcements we need to share with folks?
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. If you are doing a show, if you are not doing a show this year, I know folks in high schools are still ramping up to figure out what that really looks like in today's day. You want to take some of these skills that you've learned today, or some of the skills that you've been honing in on, you and put them to the test. You can explore that very thing with the production pitch challenge and the audition challenge, which is a national thing that is happening this year. It started last year. These are for individual students who want to participate, and they can put their future plans either for a school program or for their own projects into this element. And our tech guy, Jeremy, will be dropping that link in the chat. So feel free to check that out. Those are open through June and they're taking submissions now. So put your skills to the test.
I'm just going to add, since you mentioned Kataka, Aaron Norman, Aaron is part of our next show. And So That Happened, right, is one of the writers and creators of the show for the music. They are incredible. So if you want to come check out some of their work, join us for next Friday at the 5th, May 27th. Come do a workshop with us in person, and then come experience the show. It's going to be a really good one. Hope you all got your tickets for Afterwords. I'm really excited to see the performance. Kataka, before we close out, do you want to share like one of your favorite parts about Afterwords as a little teaser for folks?
Y'all, when I tell you the music is insane, the music is insane. And the choreography is insane, and the set is insane, and the cast is insane, and I think you're really gonna love it. It's a beautiful show.
The set is alive. I'm just gonna say that. That's my like tick with it as you will. The set is alive and it's so cool.
All right, folks. Well, thank you so much again, Kataka. Thank you for sharing so much of your talents and joy and wisdom and insight with us. And we will look forward to seeing you all at the next Friday at the 5th. Thank you so much.